the sweating department.
We did quite like Brielle. She is going right up in distance today.
Yeah, interesting. After she'd sort of dominated a race of air on soft ground and winning comfortably. Well, interesting, they've gone straight back to 14 furlongs now when they probably didn't really need to. It's hard to see her dominating this field over the longer trip. And she might do early on, but her stamina may just ebb away. It didn't last over a mile and a half at Thirsk earlier in the season.
Owner Emma Banks, she's had a good result. I think it's a good result at the sales. Lady Bowthorpe's colt made 1.3 million guineas today. Cecilia Stars, a filly by Sea the Stars. She looks as though she's well worth going on with next year, I thought. She's still a bit framey.
But she also, like Loving Look in this race, is in the sales later this month. She had a bit of a break from her second run at Newbury before running in her first handicap at Goodwood in August. And maybe that's the reason she needed to fill the frame a little bit. She's also refused the stalls on one occasion.
I'm pretty sure that Loving Look is still well handicapped off 77, but I'm not quite sure that Connections can quite find the key to her.
Yeah, they're trying the tongue strap now. She's been keen on occasion. She's also been seen to hang too. So there's lots of questions to answer for her.
Yeah, but the talent is there, and Clifford Lee might be the man to unlock it. He unlocks everything else, it seems.
Yes, indeed. He had a few days out with illness recently, but he's back in full swing again now.
In the aquamarine colours of the Hobbies Bright Walton Bloodstock. And the last couple to come forward, a hot to trot personal best for Jonathan Portman and Rob Hornby. And Flash Bardo, who goes in, he's tumbling down the weights, the mare by 60's Icon, but she'll need a serious revival here if she's to trouble some informed fillies in what looks a tight race. 14 furlongs to run is Mark.
And they're off. And very awkward coming out of the stalls was Brielle from stall 7. And for a moment, Danny Tudhope was in risk of coming out the side door. But given a nudge by one of the other runners, he's got back in the saddle and therefore is now back in the race and stalking the pace, which is set by El McGeeth towards the outside of Loving Luck. These are the first two. Brielle, having had that trouble beginning, has now moved into third on the outside. Followed in fourth position by Personal Best. And then around the outside, Cecilia Starr, who also lost a little bit of ground in that little bit of a melee at the break. Now she is very wide as they go around the paddock turn. At the moment, Flash Bardo is the back marker. Last but one, Spirit of Jura, and it is Rodeo who is now last but two. Down the back straight they go. The leader is El McGeeth, and Callum Rodriguez leads now by a length. To the outside, Cecilia Starr is in second. A length and a half away. Loving Luck is in third. Brielle and Danny Tudhope in fourth. PK and Jack Dougherty on the turn in fifth. Those leading five are only covered by around about 4 lengths. Around the outside, Personal Best and Rob Hornby try to make ground. They've got a break of a couple of lengths over Spirit of Jura and then Redoya, and still last is Flash Bardo. And now they're coming up the home straight and they've got 3.5 furlongs to go. El McGeeth still has the lead. Loving Luck is travelling well. The turquoise colours. Brielle towards the outside and PK also in that front wave of 4. Almost now making a line of 5 on the outside is Personal Best. Flash Bardo from a long way back is picking up. El McGeeth has tamely dropped away to the rail, and it's PK and Jack Dougherty who now have the lead inside the final quarter of a mile. So it is PK out in front and quickly establishing a break over Personal Best in second. Brielle in third, Loving Luck in fourth, and then in fifth position, Flash Bardo. Inside the final furlong, PK has the lead, but now closing is Personal Best, who is just hanging a little in behind her rival. PK digging in, still leads by a length, and racing up towards the line. PK for back-to-back wins in this race. PK wins, Personal Best in second, Loving Luck was third.
Back-to-back wins in this fillies handicap for PK, back down into this grade at a track she clearly enjoys under conditions. She excels and she's won. Jack Dougherty riding again, mark of 81 today. She really didn't take the eye in the paddock. She was getting very warm and sweaty, but hell, maybe she was just sufficiently up for it, because she's galloped hard to the line and she's evidently got quite a bit of talent. Whether she's got enough talent to earn herself a place in the owner's lovely broodmare band, I don't know. She's very well bred.
Well, you'd have thought so. She travelled through the race very well, not quite as well as as the horse in the turquoise colours, Loving Look, but she
Who's
showed
boxed
more.
on for third.
She showed more tenacity than that filly, I think, and they saw off Brielle, who probably hasn't stayed, and she got schmozzled at the start as well. One who certainly has stayed is Personal Best, who was chivied along from the head of the straight, kept responding to Rob Hornby, but then tried to duck in behind the winner just as she looked threatening, looked very likely to overhaul the winner inside the final furlong. But PK's been here before and done it before, and was the first of 3 horses trying to win handicaps for the second year running on this card, with Desperate Dan and Tommy Two Hoots later on. But they've pulled right away from the third, Loving Look, and she's seen off Personal Best in good style.
Yeah, a little bit more from Flash Pardo today. That's the first bit of rateable form this season, really.
Yes, she didn't pick up when the taps were turned on, but plugged away. And she has been disappointing, but she definitely, I think, needs this sort of soft ground or softer to show her best. A better run, to be sure. Whereas checking out very quickly with the ex-French Redoya, she was in trouble early on, and Cecilia Starr, who had a terrible run around the first bend and probably has that as an excuse.